Hi, Josh Biedorf here with Mountain View Chiropractic, and if you're listening to this video blog, that means you made it to day 7 on the 7-day whole food challenge. So thanks so much for everybody who participated. It was a great learning experience for both Brenda and I as well. We learned a lot of great new recipes, and it was really great interacting with people on Facebook, and we had a lot of great questions in office. So it was really neat to see some people that made some real changes for a week. So as we move forward here with this process, how do we move forward with making change in our lifestyle? So we had a 7-day period here where most of you made some pretty significant changes and probably pretty monumental changes from what your diet was before. So we have two things we can look at. Either we can use this 7-day period as a jacuzzi effect, or we can use it as a transformational experience. So the big difference is this, is that most of us have sat in a hot tub or jacuzzi before, had a tight back or sore shoulders or whatever it might be. We sit in the hot tub for a while, 15 or 20 minutes. It feels really good when you're in that hot water, but when you get out and you get back to your normal lifestyle, the back pain comes right back. We didn't make any lasting changes. Or we can use this as a transformational experience, as a pivotal experience in our life and know, man, I really feel better, I run better without eating a lot of processed foods. So as we move forward in life, hopefully this moved as a transformational experience to help you make lasting change. And in our paradigm, when we talk about a meal, we talk about having to eat every 2 to 3 hours. So when Brenda laid out for us our meal plan for the past 7 days, you can see every 2 to 3 hours we had a meal, then we had a snack, then we had a meal, then we had a snack. So in a normal week, we have about 42 chances to make a good choice for food choices. So the principle I like to anchor us on today is a 90-10 principle. If you can think of 40 choices in a week in a 7-day period, if you can make 90% of those really quality choices, that's going to move you in the direction towards holism, towards wellness, and prevent all chronic degenerative diseases that we have out there. So if you can really anchor yourself to that and know that no matter what in life, we're gonna mess up a few times, not have the best choices, but don't use one of your slip-ups to go back into just your old way of doing things. And that comes back to our first blog of the only way to really make that change is that fundamentally you have to have changed your belief behind what the food is. If you still associate not eating something towards a painful experience, will never make a lasting change. And an example of that is for a lot of people, let's say your vice is French fries. So if you think that it's still painful to give up that French fry, you're never going to make lasting change because your belief hasn't changed. So for myself, one of my beliefs is that when I travel, I really don't like the experience of having to eat out all the time because a lot of the food choices aren't very quality food choices. So for me, it's truly painful at most times when I'm traveling out and having to eat out different restaurants and things like that because I can't make a quality food choice on a consistent basis. And that's because my belief structure is knowing that the more of those choices that I make in my lifestyle, the more I'm going to lead to chronic disease and pain and suffering in my life. So at a core essence, my belief structure is that eating processed foods and nasty foods aren't going to be helpful for me in the long run. So to leave you with 3 things I want you to anchor on when you move forward in the process of making better food choices. Number 1, we need to severely limit the intake of grains that we have in our diet. If you look at the past 7 days, very little grain if any, and the standard American diet, we have grains at pretty much every meal. The standard American diet, the SAD diet, is filled with grains. Even our food pyramid that our experts tell us to use, the biggest portion of the bottom says, I think 7 to 9 servings of whole grains every day. One of the biggest detriments to our health is grains and wheat. They're just nasty for us. Our body's not designed genetically to run on cereal grains. Number 2, we need to severely limit the amount of dairy that we consume in our diet. Dairy is very pro-inflammatory, and the pasteurization process kills all the good enzymatic processes in it. So severely limit or decrease the amount of dairy in our diet. And the third thing, again, is what our whole theme had been for the week is eat real food and eliminate the processed foods in our diet. We look at processed foods, the average amount of money that all Americans spend on food, 90% of the money we spend on food goes to processed foods. So if we could take one distinction, one take home from this whole process is eat food, stay away from stuff that comes in processed foods. So I'm proud of everybody who participated in the 7 days. Hopefully we can use this as a transformational experience. Stay tuned on our Facebook page. We've got a lot of really good stuff coming up, and we're going to be very congruent with bringing out a good message for you to help you as you move forward through this process. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, and we'd love to get back to you right away. Thanks. Have a great day.